What's up, guys? It's me, Gdawgie, and today we're going to be talking about Black Ops 4 and what I think of the game. This gameplay is from earlier today. Is a pretty big win. Sorry if there's any screen glitches or anything. I recorded it on my PS4 because I didn't realize how good of a game it was going to be, and my friend joined the party halfway through, which you might be able to hear. But other than that, the gameplay is really good, and we might touch on some other stuff. But yeah, for now, let's get into it. First thing I want to talk about is the gameplay itself. Like, does it feel like Call of Duty? And, since they started doing all these jetpacks in the air and, like, stuff, it just really hasn't felt like Call of Duty. And I feel like this is starting to return back to the core COD gameplay, which is, of course, boots on the ground, like, quick action, fast pace, which is sort of like toned down a bit in Blackout because you can take your time, strategic approaches, which I like. But also, when you get in that gunfight, there's lots of jumping around. It feels like Call of Duty, which is great. What I don't really like is the specialists in multiplayer, and I just feel like there's a lot of cheap kills with it that sort of dull out the gameplay. But I guess you got to have something to differentiate yourself. But I don't even feel like it's really doing that at this point with all the other games. Also, the equipment in the game feels good. It serves a purpose in Blackout and multiplayer. I'm not a huge fan of the cluster grenades in Blackout because they sort of are just better frag grenades. They down and they kill, which can be frustrating, but when you use them, they feel really good. The concussion grenades, I feel like have been nerfed because the 9 bangs were insane, but those are out of the game, which I think was a great fix. And sensor darts are good. I just feel like there's a really good balance right now in the gameplay, which I really like. And another interesting thing they added to Blackout, which I really do enjoy, are the perks such as Paranoia, Mobility. Those are the two main ones I pick up. Dead Silence is good, but I feel like there could be some that you could use some other like tweaking, like Medic I don't really use. I feel like there's some useless perks. But those big three for me are the ones I really pick up, and they really make an impact. Like if you need to get somewhere quickly, you got Mobility, and it's really useful just to have on at all times. Paranoia, you get to know when enemies are looking at you. It could use some tweaks. I feel like a lot of times I'm getting shot at before I actually know. But speaking of Paranoia, I just used it right there. But yeah, I feel like it just adds a different layer to the game which other battle royales don't have, and that's something I really enjoy since this is probably my favorite battle royale right now, especially on console. I'm not a big PC player, but it seems to offer the best experience for that. Continuing with things I like, I feel the vehicles were a really good addition. The four-wheeler to get around quickly, the truck for squad movement, and the helicopters add a really interesting flair. The new vehicle with the turret on top, I really like. I think it could be buffed a little bit in terms of grenade standing, but like that's just my opinion. I don't know how everyone else feels about it. But yeah, the vehicles feel really good. The only criticism I'd have for the vehicles is perhaps the driving system. I'm more a fan of like GTA R2 to drive, L2 reverse, like drifting and stuff. But I mean, for a basic battle royale, you can't really go wrong with these basic controls: forward to go forward, back to go back. And yeah, it's just a slight grievance, but it's fine how it is. It's not a big fix that needs to happen necessarily. It's just a sort of thing that I'd have if I could have everything my way, which obviously I can't. A final major gameplay component I'd say is the challenges, which you can use to unlock new player skins, such as Menendez from Black Ops 2, Mason, Woods, Reznov. I thought this was a really cool addition. I thought it really showed that they wanted to incorporate all the Black Ops into this and make it sort of like a culmination like of just fun online gameplay. And the challenges are in game, which really is a different twist on it, like Fortnite's Battle Pass, which they do have a sort of version in this, but it's not really as good, obviously, as Fortnite's, and it's successful. But the challenges, I think, are really cool because it allows people to unlock characters based on their skill, but also a sort of random luck to it, whether you find the character's uh, components or not. Like I have Menendez, which is my go-to. I unlocked Mason. I've seen Woods before, but my friend blew up the helicopter he was supposed to use, so he was unable to get him. but it just sort of adds a variety into the game, which I think really keeps it refreshing and allows you to continue to play and keep striving for new things, which I think is a major plus. What the most important thing I think is probably the gunplay, and as I've said before, and you can see in this fight that just happened on your screen, is that the gunplay is fast paced, high tempo. It feels like Call of Duty. Like dancing around cover like I just was with that air conditioner, that's Call of Duty gameplay. And I feel like they really captured this and put it in a battle royale so that fans of Call of Duty can enjoy it and fans of battle royale. I think the ARs are really good, but the SMGs are more of a situational thing for me, I guess. I don't really carry one unless I need to. The snipers are a must, especially for the desert area of the map. It's sort of necessary to take those long fights. And I really like the clean sniper gameplay. You can get some nice one-shot headshots, and if you aren't good at aiming, then you will be punished for using it, as it should be. Like, it should be based on skill, which I think is really good in this game. I think the snipers feel really nice when you shoot one, and I think that's one of the most important things in COD. Snipers, ARs, those are two staples. But the shotguns are really lacking. If it's not early game, you're most likely not going to be carrying one unless you're going for a challenge. And the rocket launcher, I've never picked it up really. So those two could be sort of buffed. Of course, you're not really going to pick up pistols. It's sort of the same in every battle royale. But yeah, it's a pretty heavy AR sniper meta, I think, from what I've noticed. Sort of going along with guns and fighting, we can talk about the armor now, which there's armor 1, armor 2, armor 3, and armor plates, which can be used to heal your armor. They've changed it to a system where each armor takes 5 plates to fully heal if it's all the way at 1. And it's better, I think, than the original system they had where you could carry 10 armor plates, where you can now carry 5, and it would take more armor plates depending on how much armor you have, because I like how it's more consistent now, and the amount of armor plates you can carry are lower, so you're not just stocked on them the whole match like you were before. It's pretty easy to keep a good amount now because most people usually have them, so it's pretty consistent anyway, but it's a good amount to just have, and it was a problem early game where you just have your armor and you'd lose it by the next fight, and I feel like they've solved that issue. One issue people are complaining about, sort of, is the level 3 armor. It's really strong and overpowered, which, I mean, makes sense. It's level 3 armor. But I feel like a lot of times you can win based on the armor you have and not your skill. Which, I mean, I guess you could say RNG, it's Battle Royale. But, I mean, I feel like there should be more emphasis on skill instead of what armor you have. And I feel like that can cause problems for some people. But yeah, in general, I like the armor system. I think the armor 3 just needs a slight nerf. But other than that, I think armor 1, armor 2, they're pretty good to go. After talking about armor, I think the next logical place to go would be the meds. They've got bandages, med kits, which are first aid, and trauma kits, which do bring you up to 200, sort of like a chug jug if you're in Fortnite, I guess. I think these are perfect, actually, the way they are. I like that you can sprint and heal. It adds Call of Duty to the game. It makes it so you can go from fight to fight, fast pace. I like that. The medkits do enough, 50, which is good. The bandages do 25, but they're quicker, so it's sort of like situational. And the trauma kits are good to get that extra health. I think they're rare enough. I think you can find them if you loot enough or kill enough people. I don't think they're too sparing. And yeah, I think it's a good combination to have all 3 in the game. And I think it's always a good idea to have something that gets you that extra health, like a shield or something. Yeah, so other than that, I have nothing really bad to say about those, so we'll move on. I guess at some point, we should talk about how this game runs, so might as well talk about it now. I play on a normal PS4, not a Pro. It's probably 2nd generation, I think, maybe 3rd, I'm not quite sure. But it seems for me it runs well most of the time. Occasionally there's what I like to call sniper lag, where you're looking through a sniper scope, and it sort of just stutters as you move, which makes sniping during that time really impossible and is really frustrating. But other than that, just when you're running around with an AR or something, runs perfectly fine, looks good to me, I think. So my brother says it looks cartoony. Um, that's for you to decide. Graphics are more of a personal niche, but yeah, I think it looks great. I think it runs well. I think the sniper thing could use a real fix and would be really helpful to everyone who has been experiencing that problem like me. Another thing crucial to battle royales are the zone, how you get brought into the middle. I think in Call of Duty, they do a good job of not making it what kills you. I think in other games it can progress too quickly and the damage can kill you before anyone else does. In COD, sometimes the lack of damage can really screw you when people come into the zone like 3 minutes late. But personally, I'd rather have that. It's, again, a personal decision. But yeah, the lack of zone damage really lets you, if you're out of the zone really far, you can make it in time. You still have to heal up. You still have to well, the running while healing comes into play here a lot too. That's really nice. It makes it more of a influence or like more of a suggestion to go to the zone, less of a like you're gonna die, more of a yeah, well I guess what it's supposed to do, push you in. And I think that is how I design a battle royale and what I prefer. A quick update on this gameplay. As you can see, there's 5 people left. I have 8 kills. My top kills before this was 10, I think, and this was my first game of the day, so I wasn't really thinking about beating that, but yeah, you'll just have to wait and see what happens next. While we wait for my hiding booty cheeks to get out of this stupid shed, we'll have to talk about the major problem in this game, which if you've played this game, if you've watched reviews on it, you'll know it's coming. It's the attachment system, it's the looting system, it's a mess. The bags, you have to scroll through each individual thing, which wouldn't be that much of a problem to me. I know some people don't like it. I've grown used to it, but when it gets stuck on one individual item, it might have been fixed now. But it wasn't like a couple days ago, so I'm still going to talk about it. It was the most frustrating bug where it gets stuck and you'd have to close the bag or just keep spamming it for it to work, and it got me killed countless times. Now there's a new bug where it takes you out of the bag completely and then glitches out, brings you back to the start, and it just makes looting impossible. And switching attachments between guns, if you don't have an empty inventory, I just drop all the attachments and the gun on the ground and have to sort out which ones I want on my new gun. It's a real pain. They need to figure out a way like Fortnite with the looting system where everything plops out, or just fix the bugs that are in the current one. It really brings sort of a damper on gameplay when you're trying to scroll through and it's just glitching out and you can't pick anything up. The final thing I want to talk about is probably something I should have talked towards the beginning but totally forgot about, and we're going to move it here, and that's the map itself. There's different terrains like this desert terrain, which I think is particularly good for sniping because it's open except for some rocks and a few trees and some bushes. And there's a forest, which is most of the map. It's sort of like trees sprinkled in with some houses and different building areas. And then there's Nuketown, which is its own thing. You sort of have to go there to understand. But yeah, the map is big enough. I think it really gives enough space for people to move around and get their own loot if they so choose, or land in a populated place such as construction or Rivertown. And it's big enough for vehicles, but not big enough to the point where you need one. Sometimes it can feel like that going from the top of the map to the bottom, but generally you can run anywhere you need to go as long as you don't leave when the zone's on you. The map size is good. I think it looks really good. You can tell most of the time where people are. There aren't really many conflicts of like what they're wearing versus the environment too much. But if you use the environment well, you won't be seen. And I think that's the way it should be. It should be down to skill. So I think a recap, the map's good, the size is good, the cover is sparse in some locations and heavy in others, which provides a variety of gameplay. And yeah, I think it looks great and I like the variety. As you watch me get this last sniper and this last kill, you see I get a 12 kill win. It was 2 more than my best, and yeah, it was a really good game. I hope you guys enjoyed. And if you have anything to talk about that I said in this, leave it down in the comments below. I'll definitely read it and address it maybe in a follow-up video if you guys want. And yeah, in the meantime, like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching.